All right, welcome to another Stopping Socialism TV segment. I am Donald Kendal, joined as always by Justin Haskins. This is a topic that we're the topic that we're going to talk about in this little segment. Justin has no idea what we're going to talk about. I kept him completely in the dark, so I've got a couple of videos that I'm going to play for you all, and Justin's going to react to them just like you. This is probably going to be the first time that he sees any of these videos. Doesn't know the topic. In fact, you all probably know the topic because we have the thumbnail and the title of this episode, to which Justin has not seen yet. But before I reveal that to Justin, I need to say to all of you, if you're watching this video and you want to help us get our message out there of stopping socialism, the easiest thing you could do is hit the like button, share this video, subscribe to our channel. Very easy stuff. Doesn't cost you a nickel, but it helps us break through those barriers that big tech puts in place to keep content like this from getting to more and more people. So, Justin, the topic that I want to talk about today is China propaganda music videos. So that is what I want to talk about.
Is this like K-pop?
No.
Is that what K-pop is?
That's Korean, but whatever.
Oh, that's what the K is for.
That's right.
Got it.
So propaganda songs have quite a history in China. Propaganda in general, it takes on many forms, whether it's billboards, TV, radio, literature, basically any medium that could be used to further the agenda of the Communist Party in China. I wanted to do a video featuring a few of the songs produced by the Communist Party of China. And most of these things, just the propaganda in general are like general praise of the country and the Communist Party and how, we wouldn't be where we are today if it wasn't for our, great leaders. You better not be looking up propaganda songs. I heard you typing.
I'm not. I promise.
So the songs run the gambit of everything you'd imagine. Like I said, general praise for the country to there's literally songs about like the Muslim Uyghur population and how they're totally fine with how they're being treated in the country. I kid you not. We did a video a while back about the China one-child policy. It was a very important policy undertaken by the Communist Party of China. It's a very interesting documentary, I think, that we covered. It was on, Amazon Prime. If you have not seen that, you've got to check it out. It's a fantastic documentary. But in it, they had this kind of revealing segment talking about the amount of propaganda that they put out there. So this is just a little clip of it that I'm going to play, but it ends with my first music video of this segment. So this is basically talking about how the government funded these different plays and festival type things throughout different villages around the country that promoted the benefits of a one-child policy. So it talks about like the, plays and operas and the different singing events that were all put together, with government funding to help push this message across that life would be better off if people in China just obeyed the rules and only had one child. So they're talking about these are like some of the billboards and posters that were hung up that talk about the benefits of a small family and all of this stuff, like it's teaching people to dance. It's really goes in depth, and it's kind of it's frightening, honestly. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. It's frightening stuff when you really think of the ramifications of that terrible, terrible, inhumane policy. But there is so they're singing and dancing, but then it gets to this music video that is just over the top. Here we are. Okay. So this is a kid that's basically lecturing the people that are listening that if you have a second child, you violate the law, then you'll be detained. If you try to escape, you will end up in jail. Think twice about it. Don't say I didn't warn you. So these are that music video is a little less produced than some of the other ones that I'm going to show you, but that's just kind of the first the first music video that I want to put forth there. So this is a strategy that's used pretty often. When the government controls everything, it is incredibly important that they have the buy-in from as much of the population as possible. In a free market, voluntary interaction society that puts an emphasis on individual choice and liberty, people's actions and beliefs dictate the direction of the country. In a centrally controlled system, like a communist system, the government dictates the direction of the country, and they force or coerce you to follow. Hence the mandates, the laws, the dictates, and the propaganda. So one of the more important new initiatives in China is the Belt and Road Initiative. So Justin, while I queue up this next video, can you just kind of briefly, very briefly, explain what the Chinese Belt and Road Initiative is?
Right. So the Belt and Road Initiative is a global undertaking by the Communist Party of China, but really the government of China. They're one and the same thing, essentially. I believe it's taking, or the goal is for, I don't know if it's actually taking place yet, or if the goal is for it to take place in 70 countries around the world. It's essentially a gigantic, a massive infrastructure investment and development plan that's really its primary goal is to get the Chinese Communist Party's tentacles into the rest of definitely Asia, but all over the world, the Middle East, Asia, etc. In order to spread their influence.
Okay, yeah, boring. Here's a better way to explain what the Belt and Road Initiative is. A music video. Oh, can I just say, by the way, before this really starts, this is all real. This isn't spoofs. This isn't like an SNL parody. This is all real. This video that I'm about to show you is actually posted on a China government-funded and operated YouTube page. So this is all real, okay?
The belt connects to land, the road moves on the sea. The promise that they hold is joint prosperity. We're breaking barriers, we're making history. The war we're dreaming of starts with you and me. The future's coming out. The belt and road is how. Share the purpose now.
I will also mention I had this playing with my 10-month-old in the room, and he was dancing to it, so it works.
That's when the sharing starts. Resources changing hands and shipping automobiles. Ideas start to flow and friendships start to form.
So what would you rather hear, Justin just monologuing about what this policy is, or these little cute kids dancing about how the future is coming now?
What I don't understand is, first of all, why is this in English?
That's a good question. I'm not really sure. And the next one I'm going to show you is also in English. So,
and why? Like, who are they trying to convince with this? I wonder. Kids? Because it's all kids singing. Am I supposed to be persuaded by the kids, or are they trying to persuade like kids, like American kids?
I think this one's an international appeal. A lot of these have to do with inside the country, but I think that this, like you said, it's trying to create the infrastructure. What they're really trying to do is exploit natural resources of other countries, right? And they're trying to get these people on board with China's policy.
I just don't understand why they think this would persuade like adults. But doesn't it show you like how stupid they think we are? Like, oh, I have an idea. Let's play a song like it's Sesame Street, and that'll convince all those stupid Americans to go along with this gigantic policy. Yeah. Like this is like a complex infrastructure plan, and you're trying to convince me with like a Schoolhouse Rock video. Like, this is ridiculous. So it's so funny, like on its face, like the whole plan.
No,
like you can see them all sitting in a room, like around the Chinese Communist Party headquarters, and the top guy is saying, "You know what we need? Bring in the kids. We're gonna have them sing."
This isn't like some executives of some company
No, it would
trying to
be
come up
better
with like
if
a
that
jingle for a commercial or something. This is the Communist Party of China that have some agency that is dedicated to producing propaganda videos like this. So you've got these government selected bureaucrats sitting in a room, just like you said, be like, we need children.
Yeah, they've got a big portrait of Mao Zedong and
No doubt.
Xi, whatever his name is, behind
Jinping.
Jinping. They're both back there, and they're sitting around saying, "How are we going to get these people to? How are we going to get the world to go along with this?"
Yeah.
And then one of them's like, "Bring in the kids and make them multi-ethnic." And make them sing in English, and make sure there's a white kid there with glasses, because every stupid American, they'll trust the white kid with glasses.
Right.
Like that's the plan. That's clearly the plan. It's so bizarre. It's such a bizarre thing. I don't even know.
My next one is even more bizarre. Okay, and there's a ton of these. There's a ton of songs.
At least the one child kid was like,
it was blunt and to the point. If you break the law, you're going to jail. Period.
And the thing that I liked about that was the fact that he was so young made it like super, super creepy. Like that was scary.
Right.
Like the other kids were like trying to persuade me with cuteness, which was just stupid. But the other kid was like, if you don't do this, you're going to go to jail. If you go to jail and try to escape, you're going to die. And don't say I didn't warn you. Right, I warned you.
He kind of gives off like a Children of the Corn vibe,
yeah,
which is
for sure.
Like you don't want to have kids because one of them might be like me. And you'll wake up at night and I'll be standing at the edge of your bed.
Yeah. Yeah, and that would be persuasive. Like that's persuasive.
Yeah, that was like the meta
scary
message. That was the meta message.
Like on some level, there's clearly like this is scary. Also, we're like indoctrinating your kids, so we take this stuff seriously here at CCP headquarters. Whereas this video is like, I don't know, like this is the kind of thing that'd be on like Disney Channel.
Yes, right.
And it's like this is weird. Like, why do you think this is going to persuide me? Like, this isn't going to persuade me. And it doesn't scare me.
So, like I said, there is a ton of songs. I could probably pull up another dozen songs like this if I really wanted to, over a plethora of topics. Even for extremely boring things like an annual meeting that takes place between the National People's Congress and the Chinese People's Political and Consultative Conference. This annual meeting is referred to as 2 sessions, right? So how does the CCP highlight the importance of a feckless, bureaucratic meeting that is mostly just for show? A hip-hop rap song, of course. Let's play this one. Again, these are real. These are real.
I got elation from inspiration, writing a compliment song for the nation. What I'm talking about, the sections after ranking in that section and into 4 sections.
See,
Just settle down and focus on what I eloquently mention about a truth essential for countries development. Science, the air bears the weight of desire. Every single needs to acquire knowledge as human can live without desire.
See, I think that the United States has got it wrong, man. Like,
you're right.
When we got the next like COP21 or like some UN meeting or anything like that, you know what we need? Rap songs. That's what we need.
Around the pool? What does it even mean? This is so weird. This is like you know how you know what this you know what this actually makes a lot of sense, because you know how when you're watching, you like every once in a while you'll stumble upon it's not usually on regular television, but you'll be on the internet or something. Somehow you'll stumble upon like an Asian game show.
Oh, sure.
And you're like, what is going on? Like, it is so weird. There's like a guy in like a banana suit, like dancing in the background. There's like weird sexual, like, you know, like women like in practically no clothes at all. There's like mud wrestling. It's like just the weirdest combination of things you could possibly imagine, like all together, all at one time, like like sensory overload. And you're like, how does anybody think this makes any sense? Like, this is just ridiculous, like totally ridiculous. Like, it's no, I mean, this is less ridiculous than that. Like a rap song about poverty alleviation. I mean,
but it's about the 2 sessions. It's about like a weird bureaucracy meeting that takes place every year. It's
but you know what? I mean, in fairness, okay, so we should put this in the show notes too. But we did a video where we subjected ourselves. I wouldn't say watch. I used the term subjected ourselves to the Democratic Socialists of America's convention.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And all we could do was remark about how just like agonizingly boring and bureaucratic and just ridiculous in the most entertaining way possible. Don't get me wrong. That video is my favorite video we've ever done.
Yeah,
it was so funny because of how stupid and ridiculous these people were and how serious they took themselves at their stupid convention. These people,
what you're saying,
this is what happens over time. See, this is the evolution of the longer you're in the socialist, they eventually get to this. They realize that doesn't work. See, that makes everyone miserable. You got to do this. You got to have rap songs. You got to have people singing. You got to have little kids. You know, it's got to be fun.
The worst thing that we have, you know, here in America, correct me if I'm wrong, but the worst thing that we have is when all the celebrities get together and do some type of song for, you know, like they did the Imagine song at the beginning of the lockdown, which we also did a video on. Or, you know, like we're sending our love down the well, you know, a la The Simpsons. You know, like that's the worst. But at least it's not like taxpayer funded. You know, that's just celebrities doing their own thing, and who cares? It's fun to mock. But this is from the government. The government is funding this for the sole purpose of propaganda, to push forward their agenda, to get people, you know, their citizenry to be on board with this. It's to call it dystopian is to do it a disservice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is. This
thing's 4 minutes long, by the way.
It's so disturbing on so many levels. I mean, but I think this is why so many. I mean, Americans, especially, even the left-wing ones, would be just weirded out by this, and that is like the only reason that I still have hope for this country. Because there is still something, like even the Bernie bros,
know, man. Well,
like they wouldn't even do this because there's still something in them that's like creeped out by this kind of stuff.
You know what? Now that I'm like thinking about it, and while you're saying that, I don't even know if that's true. Because didn't we just recently get like a bunch, like a slew of different like videos of they're probably government funded to try to convince people to get like the vaccine, like the COVID vaccine and all that. Like I don't know for a fact that they're government funded, but that would not shock me.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying they're like not. Look, they definitely. You could argue everything that the left does is to some extent propaganda, right? I mean, and certainly Hollywood is like full of it. It's just full of propaganda. Okay, there's tons of propaganda in the media. Like, I'm not suggesting they're above propaganda. Like, obviously they're like anyone on the left. They all love propaganda. What I'm saying is that at least they try really hard to make it kind of not so overtly like creepy, right? Like, it's not creepy. Like, this is flat out just creepy. And the reason this is creepy is because it's overtly propaganda.
Yeah.
The more overt it is, the creepier it is.
Right.
And even the Bernie people are like, well, that's really creepy. You know what I mean?
I'm just waiting for like the new Dr. Dre single that's going to be state-funded single talking about how the DNC is coming up and how we're going to talk about all this important stuff.
I mean, there has been some, I remember, didn't Eminem or somebody during the George Bush days did do a song. I think it may have been Eminem.
Like an
One of them
George
did
Bush
it.
song?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but even that is like, they're just putting forth their opinion. I'm talking about like government funded. Like that to me
Yeah,
is where it
that's
really crosses the line,
Yeah, no. Well, first of all, the government here, I don't even know if they could pull off a music video like that, to be totally honest.
Yeah.
I mean,
we're
not
light
really
years behind
capable of it.
China when it comes to government funded rap videos.
The government here, I don't know if they're capable of doing that, pulling that off. But I mean, it's just it always blows me away when I see this stuff because I don't know that it necessarily works. How could I possibly know if it works or not? But the fact that you don't have like full-blown rebellion in these societies where they're being subjected to this kind of messaging is proof that, you can get people to a point where this is normalized.
Oh, sure.
And not like these people are human beings in China. They're just like us. There's no difference. The difference is they've grown up in a culture where this has been normalized. This kind of stuff is normalized. And because it's normalized for generations, it's acceptable part of their culture and society, and the government does this sort of thing and people react to it, and it's normalized. In America, this is so not normal that people would never tolerate it, but there are a lot of people on the left who, if they could, they would totally do this kind of thing if it would work.
I want people to sound off in the comments because, just a couple of ideas keep springing to mind. Like I said, like the music video or whatever about trying to get people to take the vaccine shot or the COVID shot, all of that. But another thing that just jumped to mind while you were talking about that was it like the London Olympics where they did like the pre-Olympics show? And it was all about like the National Health Service,
right.
The universal healthcare service of the UK and how great it is and how it's saving lives. And it was super weird. And they had like hospital beds and kids in gowns like dancing on their hospital beds.
Yeah.
So is that much further away from
that's Europe?
This crazy rap video?
I mean, that's Europe. We all laughed about it here. That's my point. Like, there's still a shred of. I'm not talking about the West. Like, Western Europe's lost. I'm talking about, like, there's still a shred of Americanism in the left here that is still, like, there's a little bit of that in them where they're like, that's too weird for me. That's too creepy. That's too creepy and weird. You know how I know I'm right? Because if that weren't true, they would totally be doing this already.
Sure.
We would be having exactly this stuff already because it's not above them, like from a moral standpoint. It's just, I think they're kind of creeped out by it and weirded out by it the same way that I am. They're just like, it's too much. Yeah. I can't handle this.
Yeah, we might have to do a part 2 of this because, propaganda music videos aren't limited to China. I mean, there are some old Soviet Union type propaganda music and all of that. Nothing that rises to the level of this.
This is happening now in the world right now with a country that is deeply involved in world affairs.
Do you know what's funny is I actually when I thought of this segment, I had a song in mind, but some of these ones that I was finding out were so much crazier when I was doing research for this that it edged the one that I originally had in mind out of the picture. Yeah. And that one was just like it was a newer one about how we're great because of the CCP or something like that. It was really like generic. So these like crazier ones edge that one out. So we could probably easily do a part 2 of this where we have like even more videos. So if you are aware of other like Chinese propaganda videos that are on YouTube or something like that, link them below this video. Justin, any last words of this before we put an end to this segment? Put an end to our misery.
I do think we need more. I think we need to start doing like top 10. We need like a top 10 best.
Ooh.
Like propaganda videos.
Okay.
Video.
I like that. Like that.
Like the old days with MTV when they would do like, best music videos of the year or
Sure.
things like that at the end of the year. That's what we need, but with propaganda videos.
Yeah. Okay. We could start.
You know, we
putting
need
that
like a
together.
Billboard top 10, but instead it's like Chinese propaganda videos.
This rap song might be number 1, so we might have spoiled it for everybody because
We
I don't know if
might.
anything tops this.
I don't know. Well, you know, we gotta do our homework.
Yeah, we'll do
there
our
might be
homework.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning into this segment of Stopping Socialism TV. If you like this content, you want to see more, just follow us on YouTube, Stopping Socialism TV. You could also find pretty much all of our content on stoppingsocialism.com or share it across various social medias, whether it is Facebook, Stopping Socialism, Instagram. We also have a Parler account. So wherever you do your social media-izing, you'll be able to find us if you look hard enough. Justin, where can the fine people find you?
At Justin T. Haskins on Facebook and Socialist Twitter.
Thank you for tuning in. We'll talk to you next time.